You can see here that there are perforations on the right eye, which cannot be seen in the normal fundus camera. And here you see the extreme proliferations in the left eye. Note the laser on the left side. And you see some laser effects on the tempo right side. But the macular fold has closed now due to the treatment and due to the disease. So a vitrectomy was scheduled. A 27 gauge lens sparing vitrectomy with an FEVR machine. So I start with a core vitrectomy. Note the macular fold. You see the laser effects on the left side. Of course, the posterior hyaloid is attached. And this has to... Oh, what is this now? There is air from the infusion line. I don't like this because remember, we have a natural lens in the eye, which I don't want to injure. So I try to carefully remove the air. Even more air. I don't like this. Let's see what's happening with the infusion line. I'll detach the infusion line, and well, there's no more air coming out, so I will reattach it, and hopefully we can continue now with the vitrectomy without new air bubbles. So I'm cutting while removing the air bubbles, and I can continue with the core vitrectomy. This is the temporal side. Well, this is very important for vitrectomy for children. You're not allowed to do complications. No lens touch. You will have a amblyopia and no retinal break, because this will result in a retinal detachment, which is very difficult to operate. So you always work on the cautious side. This is core vitrectomy on the nasal side. Now it's time for the peeling. I inject the dye membrane dual from Dork to stain the membrane, the macular fold, and this is vitreous gel, which I'm removing now with the vitreous cutter, 27 gauge cutter from Dork. And now I'm trying to induce a PVD, a posterior vitreous detachment. which is of course not easy, especially in children. They have a very well attached posterior hyaloid. I'm trying on the other side of the fold to detach the posterior hyaloid, and I have no success. You see the flattering of the posterior hyaloid. I could open a small bridge here, so I think I might be able to work here with the forceps, which is the next step to induce a PVD. This is a 27 gauge forceps ultra peel from Dork. It has round edges, so the risk to injure the retina is very small. So now I'm trying to grab the posterior hyaloid. And did you see? Now the fold opens. And this is the aim of the surgery, to open the fold so that the macula is visible again. Now let's remove this membrane part with the cutter. I like to restain the membrane several times because it is always important to visualize the enemy. I will continue now with the removal of this thickened posterior hyaloid so that the fold can open even more. I love the 27 gauge cutter on these difficult eyes, especially on membrane removal, because Look just now, you can place your cutter in this small space and cut the membrane. This is impossible with the 23 gauge cutter. So you can work as you can use the cutter as an instrument because it is so small and very good to use. I love this cutter for membrane dissection. It's a game changer, I think. So I'm trying to peel and then cut the membrane so that this fold can open more and more. I'm working very cautiously. I absolutely want to prevent a retinal break in this young child. Now I'm cutting the membrane with the vitreous cutter. And then I continue with the forceps. It might have been wise to work here bimanual. With the chandelier light. There's a small bleeding on the fold there too. So this is all attached posterior hyaloid. Then we have this very thick membrane on the left side, which pulls the retina anteriorly, causing this fold. And of course, this membrane can only be partially removed. But I think we can see the macula now opening up there. And here you see proliferation with hemorrhage, which is a source of this membrane. I'm trying to cut here to the posterior hyaloid to release traction. And here too on the other side of the membrane to cut posterior hyaloid to release traction for the membrane and to allow the fold to open even more. And I try to remove some posterohyaloid between the hemorrhage, the proliferation, and the central membrane to open this bridge. And I have a partial success, but I cannot open this completely. Or let's say I don't want to take the risk. As you know, the enemy of good is better. So it is important to say at one point, this is enough. So I think I'm coming to this point now to saying this is enough. So I remove the trocar cannulas. There's no suture. Then I remove the infusion line in this order. And then at the end I will inject Avastin 0.1 milliliter. And finally I remove the last trocar cannula. And then comes the post-op findings, 2 weeks follow-up. You see that the fold has opened, and you see the macula.